The Sabres lost last night. I was at the game last night. It was, well, is it good for them to have lost 3 of 4 going to the break, to remind them that it's going to take all they've got? It's good. Like, is there any feeling of that?
They might forget it over 20 days.
Maybe.
Alex Lyon said it was a blessing in disguise last night.
That is what he said. That is what he said.
I don't know. I don't think it's a catastrophe in the end.
No.
I think it might end up being good for them to get a little hungry.
Is it a
break.
blessing in disguise to start to continue to identify players that maybe should not be in the lineup?
That might be.
Well, it's funny when they're playing well with all this depth. It's like, look at all this depth, and they lose a game. I think, this guy and this guy and this guy probably got to go.
I think their depth really got tested the last couple of games because I've got Roseanne in the lineup. I've got
Hellenis.
Hellenis, I don't think would be in the lineup because he has not played well since that game where he had 3 points in one period.
Nashville.
Since then, he hasn't done anything to earn himself being in the lineup. He's in there because of injuries.
Right, and in fact, like when
Kozak, I would even throw into that boat as well.
When he's out there a couple times, Hellenis, it's like, what are you doing? Who are you? I'm not, fresh enough on the number right away. So,
like, they're missing 5 forwards right now.
Yeah.
So
you can kind of feel that.
Like, to me, the depth, this is what happened earlier in the year.
And Benson's biggest among those. Their record without Benson is just flat out bad.
Yeah.
4-9-2 now, or 4-8-2?
It was 4-9-2, I think, after last night.
All right, so 4-9-2 without Benson.
But this happened earlier in the year, too. Like, they're a deep group, especially up front. They are a deep forward group. But what happened earlier in the season? Yeah, you're deep, but when you have 7 injuries at the position, then no one's that deep. And I feel like they were just getting to that point at the end of this little run here, where if I got to have Roseanne on the 4th line and he can only play like 4 minutes a night for me to feel comfortable, and Kozak honestly is not giving you what I think Greenway or Dunn were giving you on a 4th line, and Benson being out is, I think, the most critical. Yeah. Him not being in a spot that Krebs is now occupying. Mm-hmm. Krebs can give you a night there, but he's not giving you game to game like Benson is.
No.
So I think there's too many guys missing up front for me to think that lineup that they put on the ice last night, that lineup, if they had to play night to night, week to week, could definitely go on a slide to miss. But I don't think that group will be together. Like, Hellenis, when they come back, should not be on the ice.
He'll be out. Norris will go in. Benson
Rosanna
will go in.
will not be in the lineup. Like, they'll get reinforcements.
Yeah, they'll get healthy and be, back ready to roll at the end of the break. Lindy will have them ready to go, and I think they'll stabilize and be fine once
Knock
they're all
on wood.
healthy.
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
provided the 2 that are going don't,
right,
have something happen.
Always.
Also, we'll see if Kulik makes a guest appearance at any point during the season. Which might happen, might not happen. I don't know. They also missed the net 10 billion times last night.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
It was insane how much they missed the net.
The experience of watching that game or being at that game was saying to yourself after like 5 missed nets, like, they're missing a lot of nets, turning to your friend, are they missing the net? Yes! And then Lindy in postgame, I think we missed the net on 5 out of 6 grade A opportunities. They could not hit the net. It was incredible to see how they could not hit the net.
So they had 50 unblocked shot attempts yesterday, and they had 28 shots on goal.
So 22 shots missed the net.
22 shots missed the net. Yeah,
that's a lot. The glass got to work out.
Yeah, I made the comparison on Twitter to the washing machine that Crosby used to shoot pucks at. That's what the boards looked like last night. I mean, they were chances like right in front of the net too.
Yeah.
Krebs had one early in the 3rd period where the whole top corner was open, didn't even come close. Tage had a couple of them.
Tage had one roll off.
I mean, really, I feel like everybody had one.
Yeah,
at least. Yeah, it was tough in that department. That's a game I feel like even then they could have won that game. They could have won that game, but
high danger chances of 5-on-5 were even.
Yeah,
at all situations, high danger even. The power play got you a goal. The power play is going to give people a complex. It looks so terrible for 8 out of 10 minutes in a game, and they'll get a goal and end up 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 4, and that's a good power play.
Well, there was a power play last night that I think had to set the record. I don't know what this record would be. I've never seen more denied zone entries in one power play than the Sabres had one in the 2nd period where I started counting a little bit midway through. I think I counted 7 times they got stopped at the blue line and Pittsburgh cleared it. Like, it was the whole 2 minutes. Just every different guys trying different things. Yeah, their power play still ranks way higher than you would think it is. They're squarely in the middle.
Middle of the pack.
They're 16th.
Yeah.
What's it feel like they are?
35th.
Right.
It's pretty bad.
It feels like it's terrible, but number-wise, it's not that bad. It's in the middle. I still think a power play specialist should be the thing they're looking for at the deadline, though.
Yeah, that's probably right.
They might just want forward depth anyway.
Right, a top 6. I think it's a. I don't know the best top 6 you can get. Have we seen the NHL trade bait lists outside of Panarin?
I looked a couple of days ago. The Blues guys are on there. Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas are on there.
Okay.
With Panarin off of it, yeah, you're looking at
Kiefer Sherwood,
Stamkos,
Nazem Kadri, Stamkos, Blake Coleman, Tuck,
Yep.
who's not going anywhere, Pettersson, Kotkaniemi, Robert Thomas.
your 2 former Sabres, O'Reilly and Kane, Evander Kane.
I don't think either one of those is going to happen.
Nope, I don't either. But those guys are available.
Michael
all the Nashville guys.
You're like Michael Bunting here, or a Jake DeBrusk, Boone Jenner. I'm rolling through the list here.
Boone
now.
Jenner's a player they had interest in the past, different GM, but the different GM was in Columbus, which is where he is. So maybe that's a name. Although Columbus has won like every game recently, so are they selling? I don't know.
Jonathan Marchessault, 35 years old in Nashville.
That could be one. I mean, he could be like, remember when Thomas Vanek at the end of his career was getting traded every deadline?
Pick. Yeah.
Every year he'd get traded for a second-round pick, and he'd go in, he'd just be pretty good. Power play and, middle 6 winger, and teams generally, I think, got what they wanted out of that. I mean, they kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's when he was into his mid-30s. So, yeah, that. Your modern-day mid-30s Vanek deadline move. That probably is Marchessault. Like that could be a name for that. Because Stamkos feels like it's a little bigger. Think he's got a contract. I mean, that would be exciting.
Anything.
He's
exciting.
old, but
anything would be exciting. Any sort of thing here where you don't have a full menu in front of you at the deadline. You're only working with half the teams, as opposed to in the summer you can trade with everybody and everybody's trying to get better. But we'll see what Jarmo does. It's. I feel like there will be pressure on him to do something this deadline. There's a reputation this organization has for inaction. I don't think he'll be pressed into doing something based on a feeling or a vibe. Maybe it's just, in his blood, his DNA. But I think there's pressure. Sabres fans will want their team, now that we're back in the league, like show us you're back in the league at the deadline too by going out and trying to make a move to get better to see what you can do. And I mentioned maybe last week or earlier this week, the goals for the Sabres, making the playoffs for them would be, it'd be very big. It'd be big for their season ticket base. It'd be big for next season, trying to get the building more full every night. Last night is a pretty heavy Pittsburgh crowd, again, which is not that unusual. They were very loud, the Pittsburgh fans, when they scored goals. So, kind of building back the good grace with your fan base. That has happened. A lot of that has happened here this year. And getting them back in the building more regularly. I think actually making the playoffs instead of just a moral victory of missing by a point or two would go a long way. And, then who knows what happens in the playoffs. So make it, find a way, don't blow it. That's all. Just keep doing what you're doing. They're in good shape. Rich in Lakeview wants to chime in. Hey, Rich, good morning.
Good morning, brothers. Honestly, watched the pregame, the postgame, the entire game when the Sabres played the Pittsburgh AHL affiliate last night. I'm out, dude. I'm out. I can't do this. 60 years, I know. I saw that. I mean, I know we're down. I won't accept any Tyson Kozak slander for 20% the price and the 9 minutes he plays all game. Jordan Greenway's like your favorite teacher. Norris is like that favorite teacher who you love, but they're taking off every Thursday and Friday and you're going to have a sub. I'm not doing this stuff. Down 5 forwards. And did Alex Tuck dress last night? Because I don't know. I don't remember seeing him. Yeah, I mean, it looked like somebody played a trick on Deline and Tage, putting tape on the bottom of their skates when they walk out. I mean, it was just a really bad effort to go into 3 weeks. And I know there's built-in excuses, but what is this? Technically 3 out of 4 losses, missed a bunch of points. Everybody's up. Yeah, I'm going to do overreaction for Sabre Friday. I'm out. I just get, if it's great, it's wonderful. But right now it's like, getting a birthday card and there's no money inside. It's nice that somebody remembered, but I need a little bit more payoff at the end. And yesterday, when another full house, there should have been, more of an effort, and that's the biggest thing. The score. Last thing, too, I'm back to if you have 3 goaltenders, you don't have any. And Lyon played to what I know we throw around these analytics, whatever his career average, he played like it yesterday, and I don't know. We too many bad games in a row already. 25 games remaining, right, with the hardest schedule in the NHL.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Is that true? Hardest schedule in the NHL? That'd be news to me.
Yeah.
Rich, I think you're rusty. I think you're. I think you just forgot that when you're in the playoff race and when you're in the playoffs, you still do lose games, and you still do have nights where it doesn't look that good. I think you're just rusty.
They are 90.4% to make the playoffs, by the way, this morning at Evolving Hockey. They have the 7th hardest schedule remaining in the league, not the hardest schedule remaining in the league. And Pittsburgh AHL squad, they were missing 1 regular forward last night.
Yeah, they have a young...
The guy that was in there is the one who scored twice.
Right, Avery Hayes.
So, if you want to make that comment, I guess. And also on the goaltending, how many games this year have they actually had 3 available
Not
and
many.
healthy?
Not many.
It's happened.
It's happened, but it's not a lot.
But they've had 2 goalies for most of the year because Luukkonen began the season injured. Then Ellis got injured with a concussion and was out a month. Then Lyon got hurt twice, both at the beginning of the year and in the middle of the year. Is it 10 games this year that they've actually had 3 goaltenders?
Maybe.
It's not that many.
On the effort point, I mean, last night did feel like a sleepy little game for a lot of it, being in the building. In the second period, late, they started to kind of buzz, and it felt like, get one here at the end of the second, get one here. They ultimately get one to start the third, and then, give up the fourth. I just think you're rusty, man. They're going to lose games. They're going to sleepwalk. They haven't had any, I shouldn't say not any, but the Florida game, first period, the Tampa game a little bit, and then they've battled back and woken up. And last night's a game where they get it to 3-2, and then Krebs takes that penalty running into the goalie. That's a rough one, right? Why would you skate right into the goalie? I don't know. I think you're rusty. You want to be out? You can be out. It would be very odd to me for the first time in 15 years to be in a playoff spot at February 6th and be like, this is definitely over. Okay. If you want to do that, you can. I think you're rusty.
By the way, the thing about the schedule being a little bit harder, because they play Tampa 3 times still. They play Vegas twice. They play Dallas.
That's tough.
Part of that, and maybe this is an explanation for why the Atlantic has been winning so much. If you look at the teams that have their hardest games remaining, Boston's got the toughest, second toughest. Tampa's got the 4th toughest. Detroit 5th. Buffalo 7th. Montreal 8th. Ottawa 9th. Toronto 11th.
Yeah.
It's the Atlantic maybe has played some of the softer teams they would play. So they're not alone in that. The teams that they are racing against are the same or even, a little bit harder.
Can I borrow a thing we do in football that we don't do in hockey because there are just too many games in hockey? Did you see what Florida did last night against Tampa?
No.
They got beat 6-1.
Okay.
The Sabres just took Tampa to overtime. Then Tampa beats Florida 6-1. If this were football, we'd be like, oh, well, Florida's obviously terrible because the Sabres played the same team. How's Florida feel today? Is Florida going to miss? Can I check their box?
They are probably going to miss.
They're going to miss. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at who might make it because Florida is down, way down.
You want their playoff probability? I've got them at 14%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are the Flyers going to make up the ground on you? The Flyers are 9 back. Are the Leafs? They're 7 back. The Senators are 7 back. Washington is 5 back, but you have 2 in hand on Washington. Right now, the biggest threat seems to be Columbus, who has won 7 in a row, 9 out of 10. I don't know. You're either rusty or you're kind of, you have some Bills anger withdrawal and you want to throw some anger at somebody. And it's the Sabres last night because of whatever. I did have a thought about Lyon last night, which was, I don't Owen, help me out here. The thought I had on Lyon last night was, and maybe it was a result of watching, and this, I'm not saying anything like this, but they show a Hasek montage on the screen. Wow, that guy was really amazing. And then I thought, when is my most impressive Lions save of the year? That guy plays kind of a very quiet, buttoned-up game.
Yeah.
And that's good. You want to do that.
For sure.
But is there anything to, I'll give you this, is there anything to the goalie making a save that's kind of hey, he recovered well, that gives you a little bit of a boost. Because when you play such a quiet game in goal, does your team, I don't know.
There's not, I mean, I talked a little bit about, making a save and how that boosts your team. I think that can be a little more difficult when you play the way Lyon plays.
He swallows everything.
Everything is really quiet.
Everything hits him, and to me, it looks like everything dies in him, and that's a good defensive plan.
Right.
But I don't know. It was just a quick thought about him in the moment.
Yeah, he does. His style is extremely just quiet. That's the best way to say it. Is he just doesn't do a lot, and so he's never going to be out of position enough to have to make a save like that often. But it also, I think it's a lot of that is because he doesn't have that skill set necessarily.
Right.
So if there's a play like that, it's Luukkonen's going to have a way better chance at stopping a 10-bell sort of chance than Lyon will. And that's just the nature of their game, but Lyon's going to give you a little more consistency.
And Lyon's maybe a little more buttoned up on the simple stuff.
Right. But even, last night you could have used a save somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Especially the third goal, I really thought, on the 2-on-1. You don't want to get beat to the far side just getting shot over. I would have liked a save there because they did a good job taking away the pass.
Then again, the Sabres' first goal was a gift, right?
100%.
Holy cow. Zucker
yeah.
scores from where he scores from. You're like, that's a freebie.
Exactly. That's a Tage goal that you expect that's just off a Zucker stick, which is, that's a bonus. So, yeah, the Lyon thing, it can be beneficial to have a guy that will once in a while make a save that looks wild, but I think you would take the net positive of the quiet sort of consistency of that game.
Yeah, I'm not unhappy at all with the way he's played.
Yeah.
He was minus 1.26 goals saved above expected. So.
Right. And that's probably mostly the 2-on-1 combined with
that was tough.
Whatever. Yeah. It was not great. It was just not a great night all around for them.
No.
Nobody really had it. They couldn't pass the puck to one another. It was just they looked ready for the break they looked ready for the break.
Silvas, by the way, was 2 above expected. Another thing, the goalie, the goalies last night. I don't really think the Sabres played that terribly. I don't think they played great.
You got him at 2 above expected? Okay.
Yeah. At the site I'm using.
Money Puck had him at 0.71.
Okay.
I was going to say, I don't know
Money Puck can be
if
weird
had to
sometimes.
do that much last night because of how much they missed the net.
Yeah.
They just could not connect on anything.
Goals save above expected. Air was... Well, whatever.
Yeah,
The
Glass had a good
The Glass
night.
had a great night of saves. 30 saves for the Glass.
Right.
Listen, they got 70 points.
If you were sitting in those seats, you might you wake up in the middle of the night, the puck flying at you, hitting you because
ears are ringing.
Right.
They're 2 back. They're 2 back of
Detroit. They're not. They're in
and Montreal.
Right. They're in a spot.
Right, in a spot by 5. And as I mentioned the other day, you need to be caught by. You could be caught by Columbus if you stay ahead of the Islanders. You're still in.
Yeah.
So, the Metro, and you're only 1 point up on the Islanders, but the Metro part of it, you just got to stay above 2 of those 4. That's it. Pittsburgh, look at it that way. New York Island, the Penguins, the Islanders, the Blue Jackets, the Capitals. You stay above 2 of those 4 teams, it does not matter.
They come back from the break and play the Devils, Panthers, Lightning, back-to-back because that's the rule, Vegas, and Pittsburgh again. That is a challenging 5 games before the deadline, and it's kind of like when the Bills lost to the Falcons and then went to the bye week. You're like, I gotta sit with that one. I gotta sit with that one for 2 weeks.
This is a 3-week bye week.
Yeah, 3-week bye week, and what are they? 24, 4-2.
Yeah.
That last one feels tough. 803-0550. All right, give us a call if you'd like. Jeff, Bobby, we'll get to your calls on the other side. We got football today. The Super Bowl's upon us. Get your thoughts on that. Matthew Stafford wins the MVP. That's good news. That's New England's first loss of the weekend. Drake May did not win it, but it was close. Really close. We'll break down the voting for you as well. Paul at 7 to recap the Sabres' loss to the Penguins. Sal at 8. Jim Leonard spoke yesterday, so we'll see what he took away from the Bills' defensive coordinator meeting with the media. And we'll recap our conversation with Brandon Beane as well. There's some stuff in there, the Max Crosby rumors, all that good stuff. All coming up here today on a Football Friday of sorts on WGR.